The Alien Empress's heirs vanished until they were discovered asleep in a human's arms. The palace of Vathros Prime was a fortress of light and shadow. Its crystalline towers pierced the skies, its walls radiated power, and its halls echoed with voices of nobles who bowed only to one, Empress Kalara, ruler of 100 star systems. But on the morning of the solar convergence, the Empress's composure cracked. Her daughters, the twin heirs to the throne, had vanished. The guards were frantic, the council muttered of treachery, and Kalara's rivals whispered that fate itself had abandoned her bloodline. The Empress stood rigid in the throne chamber, silver eyes burning with suppressed terror.
"Find them," she ordered.
"Bring me my children alive." The beginning, a human in the shadows. While search parties scoured the spires, a single figure walked unnoticed through the underbelly of the city. Elias Dane, human trader turned reluctant handyman, wasn't part of the noble hierarchy. He was tolerated in the palace only because he fixed what others wouldn't touch: ventilation shafts, broken conduits, water recyclers clogged by alien roots. Humans weren't considered important in the Reach. Most nobles sneered at them as primitives with short lives and stubborn wills. Elias had learned to shrug it off. But that day, as he carried a toolkit down a quiet passage, he heard something strange, a muffled giggle, followed by a whisper. He paused. The sound came from a maintenance alcove. Crouching, he pushed the panel aside and froze. Two small figures blinked up at him, silver-eyed, violet-skinned, and far too regal for their age. The missing heirs. And they were curled against his chest before he had time to react, their tiny hands clutching his shirt as if they had been waiting for him. The middle, secret shared. At first, Elias thought of shouting for guards. But the girls, no older than 8, looked up at him with a fear that pierced him deeper than duty. "Please," whispered one. "Don't take us back yet. They'll make us choose," said the other, her lip trembling. Elias frowned. "Choose what?" The twins exchanged glances, their voices lowering. "The council says only one of us can be heir. They want Mother to decide who lives in the palace and who disappears." Elias felt his chest tighten. He had seen power struggles before, had heard whispers of noble succession battles that ended in blood. But to hear it from children, huddled in a maintenance shaft, broke something inside him. So instead of raising an alarm, he carried them to his quarters, a cramped room tucked deep in the palace's machinery levels. He gave them food, shared stories of Earth's oceans and forests, and let them curl against him as they drifted into sleep. For days, he hid them. By night, he scrounged rations. By day, he told them tales of humanity, how wolves ran in packs, how sailors trusted stars, how families protected one another. In return, the twins told him secrets of the palace, hidden corridors, council rivalries, whispers of plots against their mother. And slowly, they began to laugh again. Rising conflict, the Empress hunts. But nothing stayed hidden forever. The Empress's search expanded. Guards swept room after room. The council grew restless, accusing Kalara of weakness. Rivals hinted that the Empress herself had disposed of her daughters to avoid the impossible decision of succession. In her private chamber, Kalara's mask cracked. For the first time in years, she wept. "If I choose one daughter, I lose the other. If I choose neither, the council will devour them both. What am I to do?" Elias didn't hear those words, but he felt the tension as patrols pressed closer. He knew he couldn't hide the twins forever, but neither could he hand them back to a system that would pit them against one another. When the girls asked, "Why do humans always stay together?" Elias answered softly, "Because without each other, we're nothing. We fight, we argue, but in the end, family means no one gets left behind." The twins clung to his words as if they were salvation. The climax, discovery. The discovery came suddenly. A patrol traced energy usage to Elias's quarters. Guards stormed in, weapons drawn. The twins screamed. Elias stood between them and the soldiers, unarmed but unyielding. "Stand down, human," the commander snarled. "You've overstepped." The heirs returned to the Empress. "Their fate is not yours to decide." Elias squared his shoulders. "Then maybe it's time someone told you don't get to decide their fate either." Dragged before the throne, Elias knelt as the twins clung to him. The chamber erupted in shouts. Counselors demanded punishment. Rivals cried treason. The Empress herself stood frozen, torn between duty and despair. Then the twins broke free and ran to her. "Mother," they cried together. "We don't want to choose. We want to stay together, like the humans said." The words silenced the hall. Kaelora looked at Elias, her gaze sharp, searching. "You sheltered my heirs when I could not. You showed them a truth our laws have long forgotten." The council erupted again, but she raised her hand. "Enough. From this day forward, both shall be heirs. And let it be recorded that the wisdom of a human reminded us of what family means." The ending, a new bond. The council raged, but the Empress's will was law. Elias was spared execution and instead named guardian of the heirs, an unheard-of honor for a human. Nobles sneered, but none dared challenge the Empress directly. That night, in the quiet of her private gardens, Kaelora approached Elias. Her daughters slept nearby, curled together as they had been when he first found them. "You risked death to protect what I nearly lost," she said softly. "Tell me why." Elias glanced at the twins, then back at her. "Because no child should ever have to beg for family." For a long moment, the Empress was silent. Then she nodded, a rare warmth in her eyes. "Perhaps the galaxy has underestimated humanity." From that day onward, Elias walked the palace not as a scavenger, but as protector of two young heirs and, in time, as confidant of their mother. The galaxy would test them again, with plots and wars and betrayals. But the lesson remained. Sometimes it took an ordinary human to remind empires that blood, love, and family were stronger than any law. And in the quiet of the palace, the heirs often fell asleep curled against his chest, safe in the bond that had changed all their fates.